And welcome to this edition of the Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. Join me, Coach Kerry Johnson, and Coach, a tough one against Single A Clay County on Friday.
Yeah, it's like we had a team that showed up and played pretty decent for a few series. We got down, had a chance to score right before halftime and dropped the ball in the end zone, and then could have made it 13-7 going in halftime, come back out, and knew that the first possession was going to be crucial, and they scored right away. And our guys just did not respond at that point.
We'll take a look at that game, plus we'll look at the last game of the regular season coming up this Friday night as we go to Rockwood. We'll talk about that right after this.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
Back here, Coach, it seemed the other night that Clay County came out throwing the ball, and your guys really struggled against it.
Yeah, we didn't have we come out and we got some stops at first. We had the ball first, went 3 and out. Had a drop the first snap from center on the first play of the game, so we kind of right there, but you're behind the 8 ball, and then we get the ball back pretty quick. We get a stop on defense. It goes back and forth a couple of times, and they kind of take over and get some rhythm going, which we haven't got going, and just kind of controlled the game.
Coach, your offense struggled as well the other night.
That's what I'm saying. We've not offensively this year. We have not really done much at all. When I look at our season stats, I'm amazed that we have as much yardage as we do. Looking at how we've performed in some of these games, but we have to go. It's just about rolling your sleeves up and trying to go back to work and get ready for the next game.
Coach, you had 2 things that popped up that have been hurting you all year. That's turnovers and penalties.
Yep, we had start of the third quarter that is almost a carbon copy of the Gibbs game. They scored, and we give them the ball back pretty much on the next play or right there, and they score again. All of a sudden, it was 13-0, and 2 minutes later, it's 27-0. And our guys just kind of did not respond at that point.
Coach, a lot of folks said, well, it's single A versus double A, but really when it's in football, it's 11 on 11.
Yeah, Clay County's got a really good football team. They got a chance to go deep in single A. They got a huge game this week. They're playing Gordonsville for their region championship. You got 2 really good top 5 teams playing each other, but I felt like that we had a good chance to beat them in this game, and just disappointed all the way around.
Coach, you had some injuries in that one. Tell us what you know.
Right now, Miles suffered a foot injury, and he's going to have X-rays tomorrow. So we kind of don't know where that's going to be on that one. I think Barger, he's spraining the ankle. I think he's going to be. Good to go this week. He practiced today and looked pretty good on it.
And you got some good news. Maybe you get a player back that's been injured all season.
Hopefully, Aiden Sweat Thomas, he's may get cleared to come back this week, and that will help us a lot. Get some more of that speed that we've missed from the early on in the season. Get back out there on the field.
Well, the Dragons lose a tough one to Clay County, but this week it's the final regular season game, and it's a huge, huge region matchup down at Rockwood. We'll look at the Tigers right after this.
For more than a century, Union Bank has been serving the people of Fentress County. Now, as we begin a new chapter in our history of service, we want to take this opportunity to reassure you that while our building may be new, we're still the same friendly people you have known for years. Union Bank, the same people, the same goals, and the same commitment to you. Union Bank, your locally owned hometown bank for more than a century, growing to meet your needs. Equal Housing Lender Member FDIC.
And back here with Coach Kerry Johnson. And, Coach, this week you got Rockwood coming up. What do you know about Rockwood?
They got a lot of good athletes, a lot of little scat backs running around back there. They're not very big. They got a couple physical players. They're going to run a wing tee out of the shotgun a lot and do a little spread. And when I say wing tee, it's the old traditional wing tee, like I said, just out of the shotgun where they run the Buck and Cub series at you. And that's basically you got to stop that to have a chance to play with them. And it's a big game for us just to try to get a win. For them, they can still finish first in the region. So it's a huge game for them. But like I said, we got to go down there and just try to play assignment, do your assignment football, which we missed so many. We missed a lot of. We had a couple of stunts and blitzes called this week, and we just had guys going in the wrong gaps. And there's really no excuse for that this late in the year.
Coach, they started off slow at the start of the season, but they've been red hot lately.
Yeah, they played twice last week and won both of them. They played on Monday, beat Oakdale, played on Friday, and beat McMinn Central, who we scrimmaged in our first scrimmage of the summer.
And, Coach, what do you got to do offensively to move it against them?
Execute. And catch the ball when we get chances to make plays. As far as when we practiced, I thought we had a pretty good week of practice last week, but we obviously didn't come back out and execute that on the field like we practiced. And what little bit of film that I've watched of our game is all I could do to muster to watch it. I've been watching Rockwood mostly, but our line played a little better than I thought they did. It's our backs who aren't picking up their blocks a lot of times in situations where they should be when we're running leads and whatnot in the backfield.
Defensively, what do you got to do to shut them down?
When we have stunts and blitzes called, to make sure we go in the right gaps and squeeze down when we're supposed to squeeze down on the edges. 2 or 3 times we had our ends going up the field, and Slime would bounce them and get underneath those guys. We have to squeeze down and contain right there. And we didn't do that.
Coach, this week your special team's got to play well also, because it's one of the few road games you've had this year.
Yeah, well, that's not been. We've played pretty well on special teams all year. We've had a lot of work on kickoff return here the last few weeks, that's for sure, and not done well on our kickoff blocking. So we're gonna focus on that tomorrow. And like I said, everything else we've had pretty good punt coverage and punting, and our field goal and extra points done well. It's like I said, we've done well in that phase of the game. Offense and defense obviously is a different story.
Give us some Rockwood players to watch for.
They got names. I don't know the names off the top of my head. Number 1, they got number 9. These are like 2 guys that hanging out on the edges. A quarterback, number 10. Another guy, number 4. Both of those guys will play quarterback some, and those 4 guys are all pretty good athletes too.
Coach, this when we mentioned the region game. You guys win, you're going to finish 3rd in the region. You lose, you'll still be 4th and travel first round of the playoffs. They've got a lot to play for as well. They could get that number 1 spot with a win. Yeah,
that's what I understand. I don't know exactly how the tiebreakers are going to work, but with the win, that puts them on 9 in Monterey, all with a 3-1 record in the region. And so I don't know how the tiebreaker works. I mean, you mentioned they'd have the best overall record, and I'm not sure if that's I think that's how it comes down to, and that would put them in.
And Coach, being seeded 3 or 4, it's going to be just a difference of where you're going to travel to as far as where your guys will be a week from Friday.
Yeah, the South Green or Hampton, and they're very similar. I mean, as far as they're both solid teams, I would have said we could beat either one of them earlier in the year. Right now we got to go out and beat anybody right now. But it's like I said, South Green is in Greene County, and then Hampton's a little bit further over. And it depends on if we finish 3rd, we go to Hampton. If we finish 4th, we go to South Green.
And of course, we want a big crowd this week just to travel with us to Rockwood.
Yeah, we need to support. Don't give up on these guys. Effort is not one of the problems we've had. It's just communication and execution.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for talking with us, and best of luck on Friday night as you head to Rockwood.
Appreciate it, Gary. Thanks.
That's going to do it for this edition of Coach Kerry Johnson Sports Show. Be sure to turn out Friday night as York travels to Rockwood. It's the last regular season game of the year, and we'll be there to bring you the live broadcast of that as well. Until next week for 15104 Sports, I'm Gary Clark. See you at the game.